Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
Preventing a train robbery when you have a straight tip on the time and place should have been no problem for Marshal Wyatt Earp. Any competent peace officer would nab the robbers before they started, or trap them at the scene. But Wyatt first had to deal with Shotgun Gibbs, his mule Roscoe, and a lady known as Miss Phronsie Latour.
Oh, my dear girl, I simply couldn't. You know, it wouldn't go at all with my French accessories.
But it's lovely on you.
Well, it looks to me like you got it on backwards. Oh, well, I can't decide right now, dear. You know how we girls are. Never can make up our minds. Well, Chief Deputy Gibbs, what are you doing buying a lady's hat?
Bonnet for Roscoe.
Roscoe?
Yes, ma'am. My mule.
Oh, well, I certainly hope you find a becoming bonnet.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm Miss Latour.
How do you do, Miss Latour?
Did I hear you say you're looking for a bonnet for a mule?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. I've seen mules and horses wearing straw hats. Shouldn't you try across the street?
Well, Roscoe don't like them farmer hats. Let me see that one right there, if you please.
This one?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I haven't had this happen before. I mean, selling a bonnet for a mule.
Well, I don't reckon this one would hardly be big enough. I got to cut holes for his ears, and if I done that, there wouldn't be no hat left. I sure thank you just the same.
Oh, not at all.
Oh, free!
Oh, there ain't nothing to be afraid of, lady. Here, I'll take the shells out.
Oh, I may be going to faint.
No, don't do that, lady. Now, what?
The last job they tried was out of Kansas City. Now, they got a tip on a payroll shipment and tried to stop number 11.
Did they pull the job, Mr. Kastner?
No. They got too excited and exploded the dynamite too soon. Our agents drove them off. They headed west toward Dodge City, Marshal. It's my job to see that One Eye and his gang don't hit us again.
Mr. Castlin, Dodge City is surrounded by cattle camps. It's the last drive of the season. It'll take quite a while to shake those camps out. Do you have any other information besides the identification in this case?
Oh, just gossip. One Eye has a sister. She's supposed to be a nice-looking blonde who cases his jobs. She uses about a dozen different names. But maybe it's all just talk. You know, the bold woman outlaw dime novel stuff.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll start trailing Mr. One-Eye Brown. Not too many one-eyed hoodlums around.
Here's up, Roscoe. The lady's sick. Get along here, jackass.
Doc, is she dead?
Just a fainting spell. She wants to talk to you.
Oh, I don't know about that, Doc. I scared the wits plumb out of her. I better go get Wyatt.
She wants you. Leave that cannon outside.
Yes, sir.
Said something about being in danger. It's a tight corset, if you ask me. Don't worry. The women will take care of that.
Won't you go with me, Doc?
I got a pneumonia case. You're a brave man. Act like one.
Kurt.
Morning.
You seen Mr. Gibbs around?
No, but Roscoe's tied up outside the new millinery shop.
Thanks.
He forced his attentions on me. And after all, in a stagecoach, a lady cannot withdraw. You think he'd dare to come here?
Well, you just let him come.
But you might not be around when he does.
Well, I'll be around all right.
Even at night?
Yes, ma'am.
But it might get us talked about, and you never know.
Oh, Marshal Earp's outside. He wants to see you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, would you bring me my smelling salts? They're somewhere in the shop.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you up to?
Up to?
You're a milliner, and it's my experience that milliners are apt to be flippant.
You think I'm flippant, really?
That fainting spell of yours didn't seem very real to me. And what enemies do you have that Mr. Gibbs needs to protect you?
I can't say. Mrs. Denton, I'm going to be honest with you. Mr. Gibbs likes me. I like him, and I aim to stay here. Oh, I beg of you to believe me.
There.
Well, now just take it easy. You don't take it all in one bite.
What's up, Wyatt?
Well, the chief special agent of Santa Fe came over to my office. Said he's looking for a fellow by the name of One-Eye Brown. Thinks he and his gang are hiding out in one of the cow camps.
One-Eye Brown. Never heard of him.
He's a train robber. Come on, you and I'll scour the cow camps, huh?
Well, not me.
What's the matter?
Well, I promised to protect Miss Phronsie Latour. She's a new ladies' hat maker here in town.
Oh, I see. Well, now why does she need protection? Her hat's that bad?
Oh, that ain't funny, Wyatt. There's a hoodlum she met up with on the stage been a pestering her. You don't know his name or I'd go bust his gizzard for him.
Well, you seem to feel this mighty deeply, Mr. Gibbs.
Well, no more than you would if a poor lone gal was threatened.
Well, guess I'll just have to take Dale with me. Oh, Mr. Gibbs, I wish you luck. You watch out for those hat pins.
Mr. Gibbs.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Phronsie.
Oh, Mr. Gibbs, I'm an awful coward. I know it, but I'm so... Ow! Oh, that mule, he tried to bite me.
Roscoe! You mind your manners.
Oh. Is it your mule?
Yes, ma'am. I'm ashamed to say.
Guess he doesn't like me.
Oh, it ain't that, Miss Phronsie. You see, Wyatt's plumb spoiled him, giving him apples and carrots and all that stuff. Now anybody passes by expects a handout. You didn't have nothing to eat, so he just tried to take a nip out of you there.
Is Marshal Earp going to send you away from here?
No, ma'am, I ain't leaving.
Oh, thank heaven. It's time for tea. Mrs. Denton's put the kettle on.
Oh, hesha.
Howdy. Separate until an hour from now.
I'm looking for a man they call One-Eyed Brown.
We used to have a Peg-Leg Brown, but he got killed in Amarillo. I never heard of this One-Eyed Brown.
Well, thank you, Pop, just the same.
Hold it right there.
Gibbs! Mr. Gibbs! Is he...
I'm afraid so, ma'am.
When Gibbs hits them with that cannon, they're dead. Why don't you just wing them with a .45?
Any man that breaks into a lone woman's house at night deserves killing. Besides, he was a firing at me. What'd you expect me to do? Sit there like a big bird?
Doc, I'd like to talk to Miss Francie. Maybe she can identify him.
Well, not tonight. I had to give her some laudanum to make her sleep.
All right. I'll send the coroner over. Mr. Gibbs, I'd like to talk to you over in my office.
All right, sir.
Dale, you take over here. That about sums up what Mr. Caslin of the Santa Fe told me. Mr. One-Eye Brown does have a sister. Well, now, don't get sore. I'm not implying that Miss Francie is in any way connected with Mr. Brown.
You got more sense than that.
But I'll still have to ask her some questions and search her place.
Help yourself. Maybe it'll stop some of them loudmouth women from gossiping.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gibbs.
Well, don't pay no mind to me and Miss Francie. We're getting hitched. That is, soon as I can get up enough nerve to ask her. I'll be a gardener from now on.
Here's the rest of the house, Marshal.
I know it doesn't make much sense. That man was the masher you met on the stagecoach. He broke into your store. Mr. Gibbs killed him.
That man must have friends. I still need police protection.
Mr. Gibbs?
I'd prefer him, yes.
Mr. Gibbs is sweet on you, isn't he?
I guess so. Only, kind of silly to say it, but Roscoe doesn't like me. Oh, he might cause trouble.
Oh, I see you don't want to come between Mr. Gibbs and his mule. Well, have you tried apples and carrots?
No, sir.
Oh, you ought to try them. A mule craves love.
Love?
Yes. Now, Roscoe, he loves Mr. Gibbs because, well, Mr. Gibbs is fond of him. You know, I really think that Roscoe is a little bit jealous of you.
I never thought of that.
Well, you think about it. And you try making friends with Roscoe. I'm sorry to have bothered you.
Aren't you going to search the rest of the house?
No, I don't think you could be One-Eye Brown's sister.
One-Eye Brown?
Never mind. But I will assign Mr. Gibbs to guard you.
They got Joe in Franzie's place. Killed him? You talked to my sister? I couldn't get near her, boss. She promised she wouldn't do the job, and she's not gonna. Earp's got a day and night guard in the place.
We'll fix that. Miner, Bruce, go in with Selvin. Take that guard tonight and bring Francie back with you. She'll know something about that Santa Fe station. We'll get it out of her. You'll see.
Right.
Now, don't try to sweet talk Roscoe, Miss Francie. All that mule cares about's his stomach.
Thanks. Now, you wait here. I got to do this myself. Nice, Roscoe. Here, Roscoe, see? Oh, he bit me, look.
Well, that's settled. I'm gonna sell that mule. You take them vegetables and run on back to the store.
Fine, that's a fine horse, Mr. Martin. Men, Chief Deputy Gibbs asked me to sell his mule to the highest bidder. Now, he's a fine animal. You all know him. His name is Roscoe. He's broken to wagon, buggy, and saddle. Now, how much am I offering?
$50.
$55.
$60.
$65.
$100.
$100 for this fine animal? Why, I'll even bid 110 myself.
120.
130.
$150.
Too much for me.
150. All done? Going once? Going twice? Sold to Marshal Earp for 150.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Abram. You come on over to the jail when you're finished here, and I'll have the money for you. Come on.
All right, Marshal.
I want to see that bay mare.
Yeah, let's go back and look at that thing.
Mr. Gibbs, you don't look too happy. What'd you do, turn you down?
No, I ain't asked her. Who bought Roscoe?
Oh, real mean-looking mule skinner. Never did get the fellow's name.
Well, he deserves it. Trying to bite Miss Phronsie.
Well, he'll sure get his punishment now. Yes, sir, this fellow is one of the meanest fellows I've ever seen. Great big long mustache. Carried one of those great big black snake whips. You know how those mule skinners use those whips.
Well, I'll tell him. I'll tell him he ought not to mistreat Roscoe. Take the guard for me, will you, Wyatt?
Sure.
Wyatt.
What is it?
I just got a wire from a field agent. He says Brown's camped about 8 miles outside of Dodge. I think we ought to form a posse and jump One Eye before dark.
We'd never make it. I have reason to believe that Brown's sister's right here in Dodge.
Well, good. We'll arrest her and then we...
No, Mr. Kessler. Come on over to my office. I'll explain why.
Of all the fool things. Your chief deputy in love with a woman. And what was that about another man named Roscoe?
Well, Roscoe isn't a man. He's a mule.
A mule?
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Gibbs, he sold him because, well, he doesn't like Miss Phronsie. Tried to bite her.
Oh, come now, Marshal. What's a love affair and a mule got to do with catching train robbers?
Oh, a mule can tell you an awful lot about people's character. Oh, yeah, if things aren't just right, they can be awful ornery. Now, this mule, he told me an awful lot about Miss Phronsie.
You don't say.
Well, yes, I do say. I also say that Brown or some of his men will try to call on Miss Phronsie again tonight because last night the man that Brown sent was killed by Mr. Gibbs.
Well, that makes a little more sense.
It also makes more sense that we try to arrest Brown and his men here in Dodge rather than try and chase them through 20 cow camps. All we need is a few prisoners, and maybe they can tell us what we're looking for.
Do you think they would expose the woman?
Yep.
I need it.
Miss Phronsie, I want you to go into your bedroom, take the mattress and the pillow off your bed and put it on the floor, and I want you to stay there.
I don't understand this. Why do I need 3 men to protect me?
Well, you see, hon, Marshal Earp thinks there's going to be worse trouble than we had last night.
Well, maybe she should stay at the hotel.
No. Mr. Gibbs, you can watch the back door. Now, does that give you a little more confidence?
Oh, yes, much more. Just so I'm close to you, hon.
Well, don't just stand there like a big bird. Go on.
One Eye wants us to take the alley behind the store. Kick in the door, grab Miss Phronsie, and get out of town fast. Understand? Let's go.
I don't think it's safe here. Why wouldn't the marshal let me go to the hotel?
Well, Wyatt's trying to catch some train robbers. He thinks you're mixed up with them. Tarnation. Now, you going over there and get yourself some rest. Past midnight and maybe nothing will happen.
Will that convince Mr. Earp?
Won't make no difference whether it does or it don't. We're getting married.
But you haven't even asked me.
Well, there's plenty of time for that. Go on over there and get yourself some rest.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
and stay there. You're a fine one. Can't you ever shoot at a man without killing him? Now go help Castleton with his man.
Sorry, Marshal. I hit my man pretty hard.
Oh, that's great. One witness, huh? All right, you ever hear One-Eye Brown?
Never heard of him.
You see that woman over there? Isn't that Brown's sister?
Never saw her before in my life.
Don't you owe the lady an apology?
No, he doesn't. My real name is Francie Brown. The man you call One-Eye is my brother. They planned to rob the Santa Fe, and they sent me into Dodge to case the payroll shipments. But I told him I wouldn't help him. I cased nothing. I want no more robbing. I'm through, and I told him so. Too bad, Mr. Gibbs, because you're a real nice fella.
She told the truth. You ain't gonna lock her in jail, are you?
No, she didn't do anything. Mr. Castleton, you start forming a posse.
Right.
Take him with you.
I won't tell you nothing.
Yes, you will.
His name is Pete Selvin. He's wanted in Missouri for hog stealing. It'll be easier to take a rap for hog stealing than it would be for train robbery.
Will it be a deal?
If you help us catch One-Eye,
All right.
you riding in charge of the posse?
I'll be with you in a minute.
All right, come on.
You folks still aim to get married?
No, we don't. It could never work out. I'm taking the first train east.
But Francie.
He likes his mule better than me. And I don't blame him.
Francie!
Well, we took One-Eye without a fight. Miss Francie, she leave town?
Yep. Well, I guess I'll go catch myself one out at the hotel.
Wait a second. I bought myself a second-hand mule that I'd be willing to sell for a $10 profit.
Huh!
You all right, Mr. Gibbs?
I reckon so.
You know, any woman can fool any man. There's not one woman living that can fool a mule.
Come on, mule.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp,